We get a 1, personal space, 2, personal space, 3.
Hey, hello listeners. This is just a quick disclaimer for this week's episode. As anyone that's listened to the show before knows, there can be some adult language, and anyone that's listening for the first time, please keep that in mind. We tend to be ourselves and not filter, so occasionally a bad word might come out. If you have any children in the room, please put on some headphones or have them put on some headphones. Thank you.
That I don't even care about this. I'm not even interested in having this skin on my personal space.
You're listening to the IDP Guys with Sean, John, and Nathan, the Wizards of Fantasy Football. Your go-to source for the individual defensive player strategy. And now, 3 guys who could only make an NFL team on Madden.
Alrighty, welcome back to the IDP Guys. This is episode 134. My name is Nathan, and I'm joined with Johnny.
Hello.
And Sean.
What's going on?
Not much. So before we get into the show, I just want to give a little bit of honor to the second round of guys to go out in the IDP Invitational. Make sure that you go to IDP Guys and sign up for 2021. But we are now in round 2 of the playoffs. We're just past round 2, actually. And here are the guys that, thank you for playing and donating. But IDP Dude, Evan Brown, Eamon Bersini, Mark Berry, Mark Wheeler, Adrian Jansen, Andrew Bidlake, David Viveros, Stephen Miner, Justin Varnes, Jeremy, John Lepesto, Todd Foster, Stephen Milner, Drew Dotson, Ben Hartley, JD, Rick Goreski, Joey the Tooth, and Nick LaRusso. Thank you for playing. You did not advance. But it's kind of sad to see the amount of IDP guys in here, but I don't know. I was waiting for Sean to have a dig at Andrew there.
Nope. I'll leave it. I'll let him go.
Okay,
no,
all right.
We had a good season, and we still got a whole ton of us still in it, so we're looking good.
Yeah.
If I were in this league, then I'd be talking a little more shit, but I'm not, so I can't really.
You should get in for next year. It's fun. Make it your one NFL.
No, that's then I gotta no.
No, you can do it.
It's so much work.
One league. That's one league.
I know.
Oh, man. All right. With that, let's get into the question of the week. Who was your playoff MVP this week? Johnny.
I got Jonathan Taylor. He picked a hell of a time to wake up. Man, oh, man. So he's been my RB2 in that. You remember last year, the Mike got me in that league where I won like $300 out of nowhere. Barely snuck in again this year. First round, Taylor just blew the hell up and cruised me right into the semis, so that was excellent. Alex Singleton also, he was free, and he's been great. So I'm all about it. What about you guys?
I think it's Derrick Henry. He did it again. Just the 40 point week in the playoffs to just crush dreams.
Nice. Mine's gonna be Chase Young. In the IDP Invitational, got 31 points, so it's very solid from him.
Yep. He's one I have 0 shares of, unfortunately. That was a sad one. Just everybody was all over him this year. There was no getting him at a reasonable price.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So how'd you guys do this week? Johnny?
Good. Decent. I had 3 buys in Yahoo, so went 1-3 in the other 4 leagues. Not ideal, but the big money is still alive, and really, that's all that matters. 3-1 my fantasy league, including semifinals in the Heroes versus Villains league, which is pretty sweet. Moved on to IDP Invitational, which is pretty sweet. And I'm still on Hollywood's Eliminator, which is pretty sweet. 6 and 6 in Sleeper, thank you, with 3 buys and terrible DFS week. How about you guys?
I had a really bad week, actually, which is a bummer because I made the playoffs in 19 leagues out of 22. I thought it was only going to be 18, but I snuck in. So made it in 19 out of 22, and then I lost, let's see. Yeah, so I had 5 buys, and then I lost 9 out of 14 that I actually had to play in this week. So I only won 5 of the 14. So that was really, really brutal. I lost 2 leagues simultaneously on the Baker Mayfield to Kareem Hunt touchdown.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still in the IDP Invitational, and I went 2 for 4 in playoffs this week. So not too good, but it is what it is.
What's up, guys? It's Josh,
Adam,
and Bobby
here with the Big 3 IDP podcast. And if you've never listened to our show before, here's just a taste of the insanity that you will get week in and week out with the Big 3 IDP podcast.
skunks are so cute.
We just ate White Castle at like 10:45 at night.
I tell you, one I liked about it a little bit more was Jeffrey Simmons.
Ooh, did you say a Bartman, like Steve Bartman? I don't like Bartman in Chicago this year. He's going to catch too many foul balls. You know it's all about getting real and getting down to business and getting down to the facts.
Slide 'em in, slide 'em out.
It's right. So, if you would like more of the shenanigans that you just heard in these little snippets, be sure to subscribe to the Big 3 IDP podcast wherever you get your podcast adding. Listeners are guaranteed to have a good time.
Hey, you can't afford not to do this, baby.
That's right, baby.
This week's news.
Okie dokie. Not too much news this week. Most of it bad, some of it good. We'll start with the most important news. Lamar Jackson takes a shit, nearly cost Baltimore the shot at the playoffs. Reaction.
Yeah. I think he did.
I think he did too. That trot to the locker room he was spiking. He was clenching those cheeks. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and they're like, get out of the way, get out of the way. That he gave to the.
That's
It's
hilarious.
It's like you're not doing that if you're cramping. Like you're not super rushed, like yelling at somebody to move. You know, that's not what's going on there.
That was a panic run right there. Yeah, he's definitely panic.
Man, I love the jokes today.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah,
this is my kind of day.
Bringing in OBJ into the whole thing too.
I know, against the Browns of all teams, that was perfect. But real talk though, like that was an incredible game last night. Like holy cow, that was really good.
Yeah, aside from just crushing my fantasy football dreams, that was one of the best games of the year.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy some of the outcomes from it either, but whatever. It was a good game. We'll take it. Okay, moving on. Ronald Jones, finger surgery. I don't know if he's done for the year. He's not in this week, though. Fournette was a healthy scratch. What the hell do we do with this? McCoy?
Ignore it. No, you don't play McCoy.
So
like, that's kind of my thing with even looking at the waiver wire guys this week. It's like, man, if you made it this far, you're not gambling on any of these guys. You know, You're not picking them up after 1 week to play them.
Yeah, no, I've been saying a lot of that too. There's just stuff that you don't screw around with this late in the game. We'll have to see what happens though. Do you know why Fournette was a healthy scratch? I have no idea what happened there.
I saw something, and this is just going based off the headline, but it was kind of what seemed to be on a whim. Bruce Arians just kind of sat Fournette and wanted to give
LaShawn
LaCoy,
McCoy.
Yeah.
a shot.
Mm.
And he was pleasantly surprised. That was pretty much the headline.
Sure, but like,
which is weird.
Keyshawn Vaughn hasn't really played at all this year. If it weren't about Fournette, they would have had Keyshawn Vaughn be the scratch, and no one would have noticed. You know, like,
yeah.
So I don't know. Fournette's not good. Like, he's just not. He's not a good running back. So I don't know. This doesn't, like, it surprises me, but whatever.
Do you think it has anything to do with, like, in Jacksonville, he had character problems and problems with the coaches? Do you think that's rearing its head in Tampa because they're losing but kind of winning? Like, they're on this fine line of just above mediocre?
I don't know. Regardless, like, he's not good enough to demand it. You know, like, if this were Zeke having attitude problems with the coaches, Zeke isn't getting a healthy scratch. It's not happening. So, like, this could be indicative of some relationship with the coach, but it's also definitely indicative of how they feel about him as a talent.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, we'll see what happens. Andrew Sandejo, concussion. I saw the headline. I haven't had a chance to dive into this yet. I would assume it's Sheldrick Redwine since Ronnie Harrison's on IR. I don't know. We'll see. But like Sean said, it's too late in the game to screw around with this. Just leave it alone. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
This one's interesting, though. Devontae Parker hamstring. Lynn Bowden got some play this week. Any interest there?
He got playing time last week as well. So you're not playing him in redraft, and he's already rostered in Dynasty. If he's not rostered in Dynasty, he got picked up last week. And if somehow by some miracle he didn't get picked up last week, then yeah, you pick him up. But he's going to be rostered everywhere, I think. So you're not playing him in redrafts. You're not playing him if you're in the playoffs in Dynasty. You're acquiring him if you can in Dynasty, but, like, I don't know. The whole thing is super strange to me because I don't know how closely you followed him, but he was a college wide receiver that then had to play quarterback his senior year because their top three quarterbacks got injured. So he just basically ran the Wildcat all year. And he did decent doing it. So they moved him to running back when he was coming into the NFL, or the Raiders drafted him as a running back. And then they traded him before the season even started. So, like, very strange that you're going to draft somebody with the knowledge that you're changing their position and it's going to be a minute, and then trade him before the season starts. And then he goes to Miami and they're not, like, loaded at running back. And then he doesn't see the field all year. And then he comes in last week and plays some wide receiver. I don't know. The whole thing is just weird. I don't know what's going on with him, but I still like him as a dynasty prospect. He's probably pretty cheap to acquire, though he was basically free a couple of weeks ago. So whatever.
Yeah, no, I won a title with him. He's great. And his grandma had her house raided. Remember that? And everyone thought it was him. And yeah, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on there. But we'll see. Okay, this is for you Lions fans. What's up with Stafford's ribs?
Don't know. Just sit him down. Rest him the rest of the year.
I heard it was a cartilage fracture in his ribs. So essentially like bone pulling away from sternum. So, at least in my mind, I would imagine.
Dr. Nate over here making his own calls.
I mean, that's just kind of like what I'm picturing, because knowing Stafford, it's probably brutal and gruesome, and yet he still could play.
Yeah. Lions need to just sit him down for the year.
Yeah.
He needs to go and be with his wife and kids, you know? Like, what are you doing still out there? There's a pandemic going on. Enjoy your time.
Yeah, they should
comfort of your mansion.
They should shut everyone down. They really should, but whatever. Okay, Drew Brees I guess, re-injured his shoulder throwing before the game last week. Now he's doubtful for week 15. Not ideal. You guys see this?
Yeah. I guess we got more of the sad Taysom Hill show.
It's too bad too, because that would have been a epic matchup if Brees was there. You know, that would have been great.
The Taysom Hill show is just so much less fun than we thought it was going to be. It's not entertaining.
Yeah, there's nothing fun about it at all. What is fun is streaming Janoris Jenkins and Marshawn Lattimore this week against KC. That's what's fun.
Sure.
Okay, Gardner Minshew got his job back.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
Stash back.
I don't know if they were worried that Glennon got too close to winning or against the Vikings or what the deal is, but I don't know. If it were me, I'm signing Nate and I'm putting him in at quarterback and just seeing how it goes, because you do not want to exactly. You do not want to win another game though.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. Okay. Rodney McLeod, ACL, done for the year. I did not see a direct replacement for this, but once again, it's a little late in the game to be screwing around with this stuff, so just leave it alone.
Yep.
And last but not, there you go. Start them studs. And last but not least, Justin Reed, done for the season. AJ Moore is the replacement, but I wouldn't. Moving on, we got some notes. We'll start with the football notes and then descend into shenanigans. Sean sent me this earlier this week. Do you want to break this down for us, Sean, the corner chart?
Yeah. Can you credit who it came from? It should say in the bottom right. I don't have it in front of me.
NFL Fast R.
No,
that's NFL Fast R. PFF Sports Radar. Anthony Reynard.
Yeah. Thank you. NFL Fast Star is where they got the data. So basically, it is a chart that is showing how often a player is targeted, or how often a player is targeted in coverage versus how effective they've been in coverage. And what you'll notice is that while you definitely have some corners that are in the targeted often and also not playing good defense that have been effective as cornerbacks, most of the top cornerbacks or top defensive backs, at least by most of the scorings I'm playing, are the guys that are getting targeted often and play good defense. And I think that this is kind of something that's still a bit of a misnomer in IDP is yes, you can sometimes have success by getting players that are bad enough that they just get crushed all the time and they just get tackles. But your upside is getting the guys that are still getting targeted but play good defense. So this is where Byron Jones, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, looks like Denzel Ward, my guy Carlton Davis, Trayvon Diggs, Isaiah Oliver, a lot of these guys, LaMarcus Joyner, that just have been putting up
Xavier Howard. That's the big one.
Yeah, Xavier Howard, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Carlton Davis have all been really, really successful this year. And that's what it is they're good at defense. They're getting those big plays, the pass deflections, interceptions, all that stuff. They're also not going to get removed from the field, and they're still getting targeted. So those are kind of the guys that you want to look at in the future.
Yeah, and I also thought it was interesting, the rarely targeted good defense guys. So these are the guys that I would only stream in the right matchup because it's right. They're not targeted that often unless it's KC's in town or something, or some pass happy offense that's it's going to be a shootout. That's when you can go Tre'Davious White. That's when you can go Jalen Ramsey. Otherwise, no one's throwing at them. So it's that's not who you want to go with.
Yeah, and when you look at the guys that are rarely targeted but poor defense, there's almost nothing valuable there aside from Marcus Peters, who he's a rare cat because he just does whatever he wants. I don't know. There was a report this week about how he did not get cleared medically, and he just kind of like checked himself back into the game after an injury and then just ran and blitzed anyway. And then there was the play from Monday where he just lined up like a yard offsides, just did it because he wanted to get a better press on him and didn't notice. He was just right up in the dude's face. Like, he just kind of plays that game where he just goes for everything. So he's going to get those big plays, even if he's not getting targeted and even if he gets toasted.
Yep. I think you can see some teams starting to catch on to this, though. So AJ Terrell, right? Like, yeah, I mean, he's been okay. He's been mediocre production-wise all season. Last week against the Chargers, he got targeted like 15 times. I think he was on Keenan, that's why. But it's crazy. He had a monster week.
I think he's one of the best rookie corners on PFF. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, it's Cam Dantzler and then maybe him. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, so maybe that's starting to turn around a little bit. It's interesting, though, seeing Patrick Peterson over here in rarely targeted poor defense, and also often targeted poor defense. Darius Slay down there, too. Like,
yeah, Slay's been getting cooked. Peterson doesn't really surprise me all that much because he's still got the name reputation, even if he's over the hill. Yeah. For the record, AJ Terrell is the number one rookie corner per PFF this year. If we look at overall corners, he's probably somewhere up there.
who's still first right now? Is it Jair or James Bradbury?
Xavier Howard is the top corner this year. So it's Xavier Howard and then Jair. Xavier Rhodes making a really nice comeback up there at 5. My guy Marlon Humphrey down there at 8, who I absolutely love in IDP. But yeah, AJ Terrell has had a really, really solid rookie campaign. Rookie corners typically get toasted, and this year especially, like you've seen, just like coverage has been really hard all around this year because defense didn't have a lot of time to prepare. And cornerback's one of the toughest transitions. They had short camps, all that stuff. And then they're also just like the penalties have been very much in favor of the offense and not the defense. So you've seen pretty much across the board, the rookie corners have just not been playing well. And so AJ Terrell kind of like going above and beyond those expectations has been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This chart is pretty nifty. Looking at it, I mean, essentially you've got, the one quadrant being like your everyday studs, and then it kind of goes to your matchup based, and then pretty much anything below that middle line, you don't want to touch.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's a super useful chart. So check that out. And then, sorry, what was the name of the guy again?
Anthony Reinhard.
Sure. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, moving on to degenerate talk. Well, I guess we'll get there. So, first things first. Did you guys see the Marvel and the Star Wars drops the other day?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I know, Sean. Let's hear it. Let's hear the negative Nancy talk about all of it. Go ahead.
I don't have anything negative to say about the upcoming shows aside from I hope they do it not like The Mandalorian. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the only reason people like The Mandalorian is because it's Star Wars. If they had made that and it was not connected to the Star Wars universe, nobody would care because it's not good. Like, there are a couple of good episodes here and there, but for the most part, what it is it's fan service, but worse than that. I don't mind fan service. Like, do a little fan service here and there, sure. But like, as long as it's a well-made product and a well-written storyline, I'm down for it. It is if you played a fucking 80-hour video game an 8-hour video game, and you get 2 hours of main mission and then 6 hours of meaningless side quests. They're fucking fetch quests. Like, Mandalorian is a fetch quest show where, like, we're gonna stop on this planet and oh my god, like, come save me. I need you to go across the planet to get this flower and bring it back for me. And yeah, you're going to fight all kinds of cool monsters, but you're going to get this stupid fucking flower, bring it back to this woman who's going to give you 15 gold, and then you're going to ride off and go to your next fucking side mission. Like, The Mandalorian is the definition of a bunch of meaningless side quests. It is the boring part of Assassin's Creed, where it's like, oh, we're going to give you this side quest and we're going to send you to the complete opposite side of the map, all the way to the northwest. Then you're going to come all the way to the southeast, and then you're going to have to go back to the northwest again to finish this fucking quest where you got a fucking flower and you walk away and nobody gives a goddamn motherfucking shit about anything that happens 5 minutes after it's over. And that's The Mandalorian, aside from, like, you know, the episodes like on either end where they actually develop the plot. They had so much potential with that show, and the production quality and the budget they have, that it is one of the most disgusting letdowns that I have seen on television, given the expectations and what they had to work with.
Jesus. Were you abused as a child or something?
No, I'm sorry. When I see the kind of budget they have, the actors they have attached, and the universe they're working with, I expect a decent product. And I got first 2 episodes of season 1 and then the last episode of season 1. Those were good products. The rest of it was a waste of time. And the only thing anybody wanted to talk about was the fan service, where it was like, oh, did you see they went back to this planet? Did you see did you catch the Easter eggs? It's like, yeah, but none of that mattered. Like, none of it had anything to do with anything. It was just like, it was the equivalent of stopping for gas and having a zany mission at the gas station and then moving on to your next gas station and just cutting out the journey in between.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. I mean, I like it. I like it a lot.
Love it. I love
and that's
it.
okay. That's okay.
It's great.
I don't mind people that enjoy it.
About Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Admiral Thrawn's coming.
Exactly. It's all the fan service. Awesome. And I don't mind that people enjoy it. Everybody is welcome to enjoy it. But at the same time, like, I get so much blowback for my criticisms of it, where it's like, most people, if they think about it long enough, it's like, yeah, okay, those are valid criticisms, but I don't really care because I enjoy Star Wars enough that I can enjoy it even if it's subpar from what it should be.
Correct. That's me.
Yep, and I can totally respect that. I just don't like it, and I really hope that they go a different direction with the rest of their products, because, like, imagine watching one of these superhero shows. Like, imagine watching Loki, where it's just like no overarching plot, and it's just like some zany mission every episode, and like you have nothing you're striving toward.
Yeah, well, Marvel's never done that. Yeah.
Wait.
No, but it's all Disney.
What is the difference between this and like old Star Trek, where it was episodic and completely like every episode was
there isn't
whatever new thing?
There isn't. It's episodic. It's procedural.
So you just don't like episodic TV shows?
There aren't.
Is what this comes down to.
No, TV has evolved beyond that. You look at who still does, like, not comedies. If you eliminate comedies from the genre or sitcoms, all that stuff, and you look at specifically dramas, action, adventure, you don't see like premier cable network shows that do it that way, because that is meant to be digested mindlessly. It's not meant to be taken seriously. Like, the places you see stuff like that is like ABC, Fox. You know, you'll see like the latest cop drama and stuff. Like, you don't see that on HBO. You don't see it on FX. You don't see it on any of the places that make like things that are very highly regarded television. You know, it's just like, if you're going to dump an HBO budget into something, you should have an HBO quality product, and you're just not getting it. To be fair, HBO hasn't been great lately either, but like at procedural shows generally don't lend to quality television unless it's a comedy.
Yeah, well, so not to continue this thing, but I just want to say, like, is there nothing to trying to break that mold and like offer something new so that you're not bogged down with all of these shows that are like Breaking Bad or where it's just
good TV,
but like so highly concept driven, and if you miss a episode, you can't catch up to the next one. Like,
right, and that's the thing.
No valid.
That's the thing, though. The reason you do it episodically is so that you can miss an episode. It makes it more marketable, but it makes it a worse product, and that's why television has evolved beyond that. It's not that you're trying something new; you're just going back to the old style of like TV when it wasn't like TV was not like. TV is on par with cinema now in terms of quality. And the reason for that is because they can tell a complete story and they have longer to get you invested with the characters, and you can get more in depth with the plot and the world and all that stuff. And you can keep your momentum over the course of a season. Episodically, you're losing one of the primary factors of television, which is the story, the momentum. The stakes. There's no stakes in one of those random episodes of Mandalorian, because he's going to get off the planet and go to the next planet.
Right. Well, this segment isn't Sean Hates Everything. It's what are we looking forward to with Marvel and Star Wars. So I'm looking forward to Loki, and I'm looking forward to Andor for Star Wars. That looks cool. I like that character, Cassian in Rogue One.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic about all of them, where that's going to be something where I'm not going to have any expectations until they happen. And then after a couple episodes, I'll be able to decide, like, is this my thing or is this more fan service?
Gotcha.
Hayden Christian. Go ahead. Which ones are you into?
Ahsoka. I'm curious on that one. Definitely Kenobi.
Yes.
And out of left field, the new Mighty Ducks TV show.
So Hayden Christensen coming back. You guys for or against? I am for.
I'm against.
Give him another chance. Come on. He's grown up.
He's going to be in the suit. And do they have James Earl Jones voicing him?
Yes. So that's the thing where it's like that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate example of fan service, where it's like, there's no reason for this. This isn't going to make the product better. We're just doing this so everyone will talk about how Hayden Christensen's coming back, and look at us, here we are.
They're going to have to do some non-helmet stuff if they do that, or it's just like, why would you pay all that money to put him in a suit? That's crazy.
Are we sure that you have to pay him any more money than anybody else at this point? Like,
no, that's true. Not at this point.
Point. So I don't know, but they'll probably have him for a couple of flashbacks and stuff. And but like
that'd be cool. Yeah,
sure. But like bringing him back, you're just doing that so that you can say, "Oh, we brought back Hayden Christensen." There's no value to that. So
what this reminds me of, remember Netflix like 5 years ago when they just greenlit everything. And I mean, I don't know how much Netflix TV do you watch anymore? I'm wondering if this is just Disney Plus is the new hot thing. They're just trying to capitalize on as much as possible, and they don't have a huge library.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Disney Plus is trying to merge with Hulu because, like, honestly, I don't know how, like, people aren't more upset about Disney Plus. It's like we signed up for this feature expecting content, and we got The Mandalorian, and that's it. And it's like, dude, I just paid X amount of money a month for a year to get like 8 episodes of The Mandalorian, like, which I didn't even like. I'd like imagine paying that much money for one show and just being cool with it. So I think they're starting to get the heat where people are unsubscribing because it's like, man, what are we even fucking doing with Disney Plus? And so they had to release all this shit.
They did promise more. And isn't the Vision show coming out like January, February?
Well, I canceled Disney Plus, so I'll wait to see what some of my friends who are not brainwashed by Disney tell me about the new shows.
That's fine. You know what I did watch as a bonus though? Mulan, the live action movie. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was all right. It was good. It had some heartwarming moments. We've gone way off the rails, but whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
we
give
have.
a shit. We're gonna go further off the rails. So
Do it.
Sean, what type of schlong did you design in Cyberpunk 2077? I went with large Type 2 with purple pubes and a heart shape.
Oh man. I didn't know we were gonna have the specific specs. I went with tiny though, because then I like so I made this ridiculous dude, and I took a picture of him and I sent it to one of my friends / ex-boss in a group chat with a bunch of our friends. It was like, I'm playing as Jimmy if he never met his wife, and he's just got the blue half-shaved head, piercings everywhere, face tattoos, and all that stuff. So obviously, if I'm doing the bit, you got to also give him a tiny dick, because what are you doing if you're making fun of someone and then just giving them a giant schlong? What's even the point?
I was telling Nate, it's so weird and realistic to the point where if you're looking at your guy without the clothes and the inventory screen and you move him around, the junk sways.
It just like flops around.
Flops around. It's unbelievable. All right, I guess we can get back on track.
You can
Real
tell
quick though,
it's the
one
end of the
last
season.
one last thing about Cyberpunk though. Why have so much detail in the character creation screen when it's a first person only game and you see yourself in the mirror every once in a while?
It makes no sense.
It's honestly my primary complaint about the game so far, which I have loved, by the way. But my primary complaint about the game is that it should have been a third person game, like 100%, because the character creation was dope and I was really excited. And then you just never see your character. And then on top of that, no game has successfully done sword combat as in the first person. Like, it's fine, but it's always better in the third person. And stealth mechanics are always better in the third person. And those are two things that are kind of lacking in the game so far for me. So honestly, I think this would have been probably twice as good a game if it would have been third person, and that's saying a lot because I am really enjoying it right now.
Yeah, excellent so far. Yep.
Nice.
You should do a cut in and just at the beginning be like, we're gonna ramble, so if you want to
MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com. All right, so this is the part of the show where we pair players together, see who we like, who we.
What happened? Oh, did you mute him? Oh my god.
You earned it.
All right. So let's get into the gut check. The audience knows what's up here. Let's go with last week. Pair of running backs. I think this checks. This tracks for this week. Indianapolis running backs: Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, 174 votes, 80% JT.
Yeah, that was never in doubt.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it was a couple weeks ago. It ain't now.
Yeah.
For this year, anyway.
Right. Okay, so pair of defensive ends: Cincinnati's Sam Hubbard versus the Raiders' Max XX Crosby. 163 votes, 65% Sam Hubbard.
I still like Max Crosby, but I'm not going to argue with those results.
All right, and here we go by a C hair. Jacksonville's Joe Schobert, linebacker, versus Atlanta's Deion Jones. 174 votes, 51% Joe Schobert.
Yeah, it's because they listened to you slander him and just say he was a scrub and a nobody. And
So I do have to
was he
apologize.
linebacker 4?
Sean pointed out one of Joey's tweets that I had retweeted and had read that had talked about how great Deion Jones was this year.
Okay, the best part was not only did it talk about how great Deion Jones was, but it was calling out people that called him washed, which is basically what you did.
I know things. Oh
right.
man, it was pretty great too because I just responded with that GIF, and then Joey was just like, "What's going on?"
So yeah, no, I still want Deion Jones. I think Joe Schobert's a great linebacker. I don't think there are a lot of great linebackers in the NFL right now. I think we're in that transition period where NFL teams are starting to figure out what works at linebacker. And there aren't that many at the moment. I think Joe Schobert's one of them. It's kind of a tangent, but just like side note is stuff like evidence of that is guys like Troy Dye, who's like a pure coverage linebacker who was 6th round pick, and he was actually playing decent this year and playing a decent number of snaps. And I think the NFL is starting to figure out that coverage matters more than anything else.
Gotcha. All right, Johnny, take us through this week's gut checks.
Yeah, actually, that's funny you mentioned that. Christian Kirksey's in trouble for being crappy in coverage lately, too. I was just looking at that right before we started. Not great. Oh, all right. Here we go. This week we got 2 of the top 5 wide receivers. Depending where you are, what your league settings are. I mean, what is it? It's Diggs and Hill, right? That's it. That's the top 2 in most places. So, yeah, what do we got in all those COVID leagues? I'm pretty sure it's Hill, Diggs.
I'm about to find out.
But anyway, do you want Stephon Diggs or DeAndre Hopkins? I'm going to go off the beaten path a little bit. I'm going to go Diggs here. I really like his role in Buffalo quite a bit.
So top 5 are Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, DeAndre Hopkins.
Gotcha. I forgot about Adams. Yep. And he didn't play a couple games. He might be running away with this thing if he had.
Yeah. So I think I still want Hopkins. We've seen super, super intense growth from Josh Allen this year. I think a large part of that has to do with Brian Dable running a really nice scheme over in Buffalo. And he's going to get a head coaching job after this year, almost certainly. And it's tough to say who they're going to get as their offensive coordinator, what they're going to do, how well they're going to draw up plays, how aggressive they're going to be, how well they're going to cater to Josh Allen. And I think that Stephon Diggs is kind of going to ride the roller coaster with Josh Allen. I'd rather ride the roller coaster with DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray at this point, just because I think we're going to know what we're getting in terms of the offensive scheme for a couple of years.
Hey.
I think I like Diggs.
We shall see. We'll throw it out to the people. Okay, second one. Pair of young, really good IDP safeties and just overall safeties. Jesse Bates, I believe this is his 3rd year. Yeah.
3rd or 4th.
Yeah. And Jeremy Chin, this is his 1st year. Who do you guys want? I think I want Bates still, just by a little bit. Nothing scientific. Worse offense, although Burrow, that's just now. When Burrow's there, I think it's probably a better offense. He's proven it, though. He's proven it longer. What do you think?
Yeah. Chin has been an average safety so far this year. He's put up a lot of numbers, but in terms of actual play on the field, he's missing a ton of tackles, and he's been hit or miss in terms of coverage. He's got to be near the top of the league in missed tackles, if I had to guess. So, for me, he's putting up numbers, but Jesse Bates, we know what we have. We know we have probably a top 3 safety in the NFL. top 5 at the very least. And Jeremy Chin, you still need to see some growth there. And if he kind of stays as what he is right now, those splash plays aren't going to be consistent. They're not going to be stable. Those will go away at some point. And you can't be somebody that hates Eddie Jackson and hates Minkah Fitzpatrick, but likes Jeremy Chin, because it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to be relying on right.
It's exactly
you're going
what
to
it
be, except with a player that isn't quite as good as those two. So, for me, it's definitely Jesse Bates. I really like Jeremy Chin moving forward, but if he stays what he is right now, he's not going to be the asset you're paying for it. He needs to continue his development.
Yeah, my gut, I feel more confident in Jesse Bates just looking at those names.
Right, and I guarantee you, well, I don't guarantee it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chin won, because everyone's excited about the last 2 weeks here with the splash plays. But if you look at his game logs, it's that or nothing, basically.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's what you're going to get with him. So if you this is actually kind of an interesting experiment, because if you have Jeremy Chin, you might be able to trade him straight up for Jesse Bates. And you might be able to trade him for Jesse Bates in a third. And if that's the case, I'm all in on that. So,
yeah, it's a good call. Good call. Okay, and last but not least, these guys were less than a point apart. That's why I grabbed them in the league. I took this from Miles Jack or Fred Warner, and I'm going to go off script. I'm going to say Miles Jack. I like it. Yeah, I think it's a more productive position. I really do.
Oh my God, and I'm going Fred Warner. I can't believe that.
What?
I can't believe this is the first time that you're supporting Miles Jack and I'm not.
Wow.
I have been telling you, Miles Jack is coming back. He's just got to get in the right situation on that defense, and he is a talented player, and he's gonna put up numbers. So I'm glad we got you to come around on it at least.
That's wild. I was going into this thinking Miles Jack, and I thought I was going to get some shame from Johnny, but apparently not.
And
I'm feeling Miles Jack.
Here's the thing with the Niners too. Their offense is not what it could be. It's in shambles. And Warner and Greenlaw have both been a shell of themselves this year. They're going to see even less time on the field next year. Not more.
I don't know that that's true. I think if they get a different quarterback, they're going to be able to throw the ball. So they're going to have less of these drawn out, ridiculous, sustained drives where they're draining 25 seconds a play for 8 plays and getting 12 yards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Less time on the field.
I'm saying we're going to see less of those. You're going to be able to throw the ball more, which is going to conserve a little more.
Oh, okay.
He's saying the offense will go faster.
Yeah, no, I got it. I thought you were going the other way with this. All right, no, I got you. Yep.
So you think Jimmy G's not long for San Francisco?
I don't think so, but they haven't said anything otherwise. Kyle Shanahan is too smart a guy to think that Jimmy G is a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good husband, though. That's all that matters.
What are you going to tell Joey?
Yeah. I mean, I'm more worried about Joey's fan account.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. We don't want to know what that guy's going to do.
I want to see that meltdown now.
Ugh.
Oh, man. All righty.
At Big Jimmy G guy. Big Jimmy G guy?
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Now is the time for our listener questions. We're just going to go straight into the fact that you pretty much have to join Slack to get pulled for these questions unless you email Johnny's Outlook directly. But in 2021, if you saw or read our newsletter that was emailed out, you'll notice that we're launching into Patreon again. and there is a level of where you can watch the show and ask questions directly to us afterwards. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have more information after the website comes out. But Johnny, give us those questions.
Okie dokie, just a couple this week. Okay, so Tony from the Slack chat wants to know. So he's got a situation that I find myself in quite a few places this year because, quite frankly, the Bills' offense is not what it used to be. It's a lot better. Their time of possession's better. Their defense spends less time on the field. They're blowing people out, so the run game's not as much of a thing. Those easy run stopping tackles are fewer and far between. So he says in a shallow IDP league, I believe it's like 2 linebackers, so pretty shallow. Would you continue to roll a Tremaine Edmonds or stream based on opposing offense? And I said stream based on opposing offense. What do you guys think?
I agree with that, but I thought he gave us a list of options and they weren't good.
We had this conversation like a day or two ago, and I said send me your options before Tuesday. I don't think we've gotten anything yet. I wrote down.
Yeah, if it's just a choice, if it's just a choice of streaming or Tremaine Edmonds, definitely stream.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And in some ones, in a shallow league like that, you could probably go Tyrell Adams, Colts, Jerome Baker, Pats. Plus the injuries there, Jerome Baker, Pats is probably solid.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Lange, Neville Hewitt, Rams. I
don't know. I still like Tremaine Edmonds better than any of these guys, except for maybe Jamie Collins versus the Titans.
Yeah, I don't know. I just all right. So let's see. Lions, Titans. I think Titans dominate that one.
They're gonna run the ball a ton though.
That's what I'm saying. So Jamie Collins. Yeah, that's
the one. That's the one I would take, I think.
Houston, same deal. I feel like against the Colts, who's
right.
Houston's offense is shit right now.
Jamie Collins is the only decent linebacker on that list, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at Edmonds' numbers, and who do they got this week?
I don't know.
I think that's the question we need answered.
Well, I'll find out for you in under a second here.
Yeah.
Tremaine Edmonds is playing against Denver.
Oh, yeah, that's not great. Yeah, I'd go elsewhere. I don't know. Just send us the options in Slack. We'll figure it out. Alrighty, moving on. We've got Lamar Crapson at Outlook.com asks, do you guys know of any playoff challenges or playoff leagues going on this offseason? Nate, what do you got for us?
Well, I guess it sounds like we're revitalizing the IDP guys playoff challenge. I will get to figuring out when we're going to launch that. I forgot about them.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not there yet. But yeah,
And
usually
we're not anywhere near playoffs.
Right. Usually once we get there, Dingus coach will set some up. We usually set one up. There'll be a couple floating around.
Yep.
And so
cool. Alrighty, so we're going to do our week in review and most important waivers, and we're going into playoffs, so it's really important waivers.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? Yeah, okay. So on the IDP side of things, David Long is now the full-time inside linebacker for the Titans. I don't know how great that is, but it's true. It happened. Kazir White is back from COVID IR, I believe it was. Jermaine Carter remains a decent option. Tahir Whitehead is still displaced. Dante Jackson is back. That's always a good streaming option if the matchup is right and he's healthy, which is not often, but when it happens, it's good. Darian Thompson still when Donovan Wilson is out. Todd Davis, yes, if Eric Kendricks, no. Micah Kaiser is back from IR this week. Be careful not to get stuck with Troy Reader. I don't know exactly if that's going to happen, but just check LA media or beat writers before kickoff to make sure. Duke Riley, if no TJ Edwards. This one's interesting. No Simmons or Campbell. They split the position precisely last week.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing as someone who owns both of them.
Not ideal. So that's fun.
That sucked.
Yeah. Avery Williamson, yes. Marcus Allen, not the running back, was the other linebacker for the Steelers, but it was iffy. I would just not do that. And if Spillane's back, sure. If Vince Williams is back, definitely. That's what I got on the IDP side. Sean, you got some offense?
Yeah, so again, disclaimer, you can pick these guys up, but there's no reason to play any of them. So at this point, why even bother? But Lynn Bowden, yes. For Dynasty, Jalen Hurts, 2 QB, yes. Then basically down the line here, Higgins, Thomas, Edwards, Smith, Fournette, Cole Kmet, KJ Hamler. These guys are all guys that are definitely rostered in Dynasty, and you're not going to play them in redraft. Chad Hansen, not a huge fan. Don't think he's super talented, but worth an ad in Dynasty if it's a deep league. LaShawn McCoy, don't bother in either format. He's going to be retired soon. And James Washington is same boat as the guys I listed before, where he's definitely rostered in Dynasty, and he's not worth rostering in redrafts because you're not going to start him in the next 2 weeks.
So you guys are NFC North people. What's up with MVS? He's about as spotty as anyone. Would you ever trust him?
I mean, he's a guy. So for me, guys like that are always based on the matchup with the actual person you're playing against. So if I'm projected to lose, that means given the average of all my players, I'm probably going to lose. So I need a couple of splash performances. So if I'm projected to lose, I'll throw guys like that in the lineup because it's if things align, blow up and works out. If I'm projected to win, I make sure none of those guys are in my lineup. I want the safer guys. It's give me the guys that may not have that ceiling that MVS has, but I know they're give me a Jarvis Landry that's going to catch 6 balls for 58 yards and a touchdown, maybe. Because I would much rather get some points than no points if I'm projected to be ahead of somebody. And by projected, it's not necessarily your Yahoo projections, but do you look good to win this week if everything goes as it should? If the answer is no, go for your big time hitters. You're just swing for the fences. If the answer is yes, then play your safe guys.
Mm-hmm. So he's kind of a Sammy Watkins type.
No, Sammy Watkins is somebody that I won't even if I need a big win, I'm not playing Sammy.
I got saddled with him in a couple leagues, which hasn't been great, but he has come through a couple times.
Yeah. The problem with Sammy is you're expecting it because it's Patrick Mahomes, how could he not get a bunch of yards and maybe a touchdown? And then you realize he just doesn't get thrown to.
Yep. All right. So let's get into our over, met, and under for the week. Johnny, who'd you got?
Over. Roquan Smith. Good Lord. Gigantic week. AJ Terrell. That was nice. Called that in the Streaming Corners article. I mean, the matchup was perfect, but Jesus Christ, 13 combined tackles. That was crazy. Jerome Baker also benefited from Noah Van Noy, Noah Landon Roberts, and a lot of easy tackles. So that was nice. Met expectations. Alex Singleton, Miles Jack, Aaron Donald, Cat get out of here. Underproduced. Christian Kirksey, 68% of snaps this week, and I think it was 60 the week before. He's in the doghouse. I would figure out a backup plan.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago where I said that was Blake Martinez. That was the guy he replaced. But yeah, both of them. They're both the same thing. They're not that good.
Yeah, Martinez has been fine though. Von Bell and Jesse Bates, bad weeks. They've had 2 each the entire year. It's fine.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
It happens. It's
Yep.
fantasy football.
It just sucks that it happens during playoffs.
Yeah.
Generally. All right, Sean, what do you got for offense?
Over Drew Lock. I think he was QB5.
HCL.
Yeah, that was great.
He's terrible. So, over expectations. Miles Sanders, after weeks of doing nothing, 30 points. Whatever. T.Y. Hilton, I've been trying to trade him for a 3rd-round pick all year long, and then these last 3 weeks, he just blows up, and trade deadline has already passed. This is my nightmare. Mike Gesicki, 27 points. He was tight end 2 on the year. He's been so bad this year, just disappointing. Under expectations, Matt Ryan at 8.3, brutal. Giovanni Bernard, 2.3 points. And man, he had played decent when he was filling in for Mixon, and then he just didn't play, and everybody else played, and they played fine. That was a killer. Jamison Crowder's had a fantastic year and then closes it out with 2.7 points. Hayden Hurst has been decent, 2.2 points. That's brutal. Met expectations. Lamar finally had the week that we were hoping he would have in terms of fantasy.
And he took a shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to do it more often. Constipation's a bitch, man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, after getting stifled by Le'Veon Bell's corpse for the last 5 weeks, had a really nice week this week. This should be an over, but I put met expectations for Lynn Bowden because this is what the expectations were at the beginning of the year before he got traded and all that stuff. We expected he would see playing time. He got drafted in a decent slot. He was dynamic in college, all that. So he had 18 points or something, and that's obviously more than you would expect from him, but him doing things is meeting expectations. And then Mark Andrews had a nice week too, to my detriment.
Nice. Alrighty. So my over, he was also my MVP, Chase Young. He had that 47-yard fumble recovery touchdown. So that's definitely over. That's not what he's going to be doing all the time, but it was nice. Met Tyrell Adams, 4 tackles, 3 assists, and a sack. That was pretty nice. And Buda Baker, 2 tackles, 4 assists. Not quite Buda worthy. I mean, it wasn't bad. 8 points, but it's not what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of Buddha.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Dynasty Football Digest, your new essential site for Dynasty information. For as little as $1 a month, gain access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, trends, ADP, in-season assets, and a Slack chat just for subscribers. Purchase today at dynastyfootballdigest.com.
Alrighty, time for steak and salad. Johnny, what's your steak this week?
Cyberpunk, designing my meat, playing the game, seeing Keanu Reeves. That was pretty cool. Enjoyed the Boba Fett cameo. That was great. The Expanse Season 5 dropped today. Definitely looking forward to that. And The Stand on CBS All Access drops in a couple days. That's going to be hopefully pretty good as well.
It drops tomorrow, doesn't it?
17th, I just read.
Okay. Shit. It was the 16th or the 17th. I am really hoping that's good. CBS is super concerning, but
I wish HBO had done it.
Right. Well, it was originally supposed to be FX, I think, and then they bailed on it. And then CBS picked it up. So we'll see. The trailer looks like it could go either way. I'm so hopeful that it's good because I love The Stand. It's one of my favorite all-time books.
It's favorite Stephen King book. And the casting for the Man in Black, I think, was good, but we'll see.
Whoopi Goldberg was a weird choice.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
That's the type of character where it's like, you don't want somebody super recognizable. I don't know. I like shows like this where they're like iconic characters and like you want to fill them with non-iconic actors because like you don't want to like go into a character that you already know and love and be like that's Whoopi Goldberg and not be able to associate it, So I don't know. That was a weird choice, but I'm really hoping it's good because I'm gonna probably quit the podcast if it's not.
Alrighty.
It's a great book. Yeah.
So, Sean, what's your stake?
I got a PS5 today. Yeah.
Finally.
And my buddy got 2 today. It's just like,
Why do you need 2?
Sell one.
No, he's not selling them. It's like there are a bunch of us trying to get them right now, and so it's like, yeah, if I like, he already has one too. He got 2 more today, so they're just going to friends that have been trying to get them forever. We're all in this together. So, yeah, if I get another one, we'll talk, Johnny.
Nice.
So that was my steak. My salad is that my heat is out right now. I got a space heater going right now, and it's Minnesota, like 8 degrees. So tight. Yeah.
Just Fargo up in your.
I know. It's like 3 days to fix my heat. It's like, dude, no, get your ass out here like today. I called you at 10 a.m. Get your ass out here now.
Nice. All right. So my stake is I am deep into season 2 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
First time watching?
First time watching. Solid show.
Just keeps getting better as it goes on too.
Yeah. No, I'm really liking it. So I got Peacock free with Xfinity, and I've been watching the different streaming. Like I've got almost all of the different streaming services. And this one I started watching Parks and Rec for like the 32nd time through, and I finished up about a week ago, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to watch next. I like to have something that has a lot of episodes, a lot of seasons, and I can just kind of put on while I work. And
Ancient Aliens.
Huh?
Ancient Aliens.
That actually sounds pretty interesting. But it was the next up like recommendation after Parks and Rec, which makes sense. It's pretty much the same show, just they're cops, and it's Andy Sandberg.
Right. The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah.
It's all kind of the same thing. So I just went right into it, and I had tried giving it a shot before, and I didn't really keep going after like the second episode. But this one, I'm in season 2 now.
Before the show, did you like or hate Andy Sandberg?
I liked him.
Okay. I hated Andy Sandberg in most of the things I had seen him in. And I really liked him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I thought he reeled it in a little bit. He was a little less like just annoying.
Yeah, that was something I did like about his character. Is it's not like I originally was envisioning Michael Scott, and then it was more like ability to be Michael Scott, but normal.
Right. He had a human element to him that was relatable,
which is different than essentially Parks and Rec and The Office. That's like Leslie Knope couldn't shut it off, but she wasn't as bad as Michael Scott.
Right. Like you and I think I enjoyed both the characters, but like they weren't really relatable.
Right.
In any way.
Andy Sandberg's character is just, he likes to fuck around, which we like our shenanigans here in IDP, guys. So I can
No.
Not me.
No.
But yeah, no, it's good. As far as my salad, I dropped 2 playoff leagues in the first round this week. The IDP Legacy Dynasty whatever league, and the Mayhem League. So 2 somewhat important leagues, so that wasn't cool. I didn't even realize that I was sniffing at playoffs in the Mayhem League. Joey had to kind of like elbow me and be like, "Hey, man, like you might want to put in a little bit of effort. You're only like a game out." And so I focused on it a little more, got into playoffs, and was out in the first round because I had to play the number 1 seed. Because it was 8-team playoffs.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that is my salad. Johnny, what's your salad?
The burnout is setting in. I'm fucking done, man. I may not get to 15,000 words this week. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'm fucking done. And
You should end your article that way.
Yeah, and I'm just
You
tired
just be like, "Yo, dude, I'm at 12,000 words. I'm not doing anymore. I don't give a shit. Peace." And then give a little emoji at the end of the article.
Yeah, no, I'll stick. It's the same every year. You know how it is when we get to this point. I'm just fucking tired of it. I want to play Cyberpunk. I don't want to write this fucking shit anymore. I just want to play Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
one more week. That's it.
Yeah, I know. We'll get through it like we always do because it's not our first fucking rodeo.
But yeah, no, it is one of those things that like this part of the season, especially for fantasy analysts. I mean, we've been doing this show weekly for now. Well, we had COVID this year, so it has been compressed a little bit, but 15 weeks essentially weekly. Before that was bi-weekly. Writing is like we're right on our vacation time. We get to put down the pen, put down the mic, and just enjoy some playoff
football instead of having to worry about everything every week. What's that like?
Well, the show's been going for 3 years. I think the show really started like 2 weeks ago when he figured out how to introduce Gut Check. Just rebrand it. Episode 1. We got Gut Check figured out. Just roll with it from there.
I'm just going to title this episode 1. But yeah, no, it's I feel you, Johnny. I know, especially the amount of work you put in on a weekly basis, but you do benefit from some notoriety in the IDP Twitter universe. People, I do see them reaching out and saying, "Holy fuck, how do you put 15,000 words on a page every week?" So
it's funny too, because your season is coming to a close. My season's about to start. Like, I get my burnout right around the time the season starts. You get yours right around the time it ends.
This is true. Yeah. And we're going to be really deep. I mean, I already said cocksucker. So, yeah, we're going to be balls deep in this thing this year with the draft and stuff. And, I mean, Jesus.
Well, even before, right after you were done, Johnny, and before Sean kicks up, I have to completely remodel 2 websites.
Yeah.
So I have a ticking clock. Like, I have to get it done no more than 2 months, preferably much sooner. So that's I'm looking forward to that because that's kind of my season starting, and all of the stuff we've got going on for next year is going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. Yeah,
and it's going to be awesome. It's every year, kind of just, I guess, one more stake. I put out that that letter to our subscribers, everyone on our email list, and I actually went back and looked at last year's letter that I sent out because it's becoming a routine thing where right at the end of the year I kind of do a thank you and talk about what's coming for the next year. And last year I had stated that we're going to be evolving our premium content, increasing it, increasing the subscription options and that stuff. And I mentioned the draft magazine, all things that we successfully completed, and now going above and beyond even farther. So like, it's one of those things that now I'm looking forward to. What am I going to be writing in next year's newsletter? What are we going to be doing going into 2022? And where are we going to be at? I don't know. It's
probably
cool.
A porno.
Could be. Very well could be.
Never know where we're gonna branch off into.
Involve some poop. Probably involve some poop.
Beats and Meats podcast. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
The IDP Guys is your #1 resource for IDP information for your fantasy leagues. For as little as $1 a month, get access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, ADP trade calculator, in-season assets, and a Slack chat to get personal help all year round. Purchase today at idpguys.org.
Jonny The Greek.
Alrighty, and before I give this off to the Greek, this is brought to you by Statement Games. Play statementgames.com, rank prop bets, your top 10, play against people, and have a good time. And we sponsor the Sunday night NFL match. This week is Giants versus Browns.
Yeah, it got flexed there, I believe.
Yeah, flex to there. And so, Johnny, you want to go in a little more about the game and how the contest and what we're doing?
Yeah, so statementgames.com. You can either create an account or sign in using Google, so it's nice and easy. Like Nate said, you rank prop bets in order of confidence, 1 to 10, 10 being worth the most points. And they're based on prop bets from the game for players. We get the Sunday night contest, Sunday night game every week. Last week's winner was Jan McGorry. Congratulations, Jan McGorry. You've won a jersey of your choosing, player, team, and size. Congrats.
Yay.
Yay. All right. And this week we got some props. I haven't chosen them yet, but I kind of enjoy doing them with you guys. So I think that's just how we're going to do it from now on. Okay. So we got Browns, we got Giants. A lot of people talking about how the Browns DST is like a good option the next 2 weeks. I'm into it. Giants offense is hot garbage. We'll start with Wayne Gallman. Over under a touchdown. So half a touchdown. He has to have either 1 or 0. I'm going under.
Yeah, I'll take the under. That one's close. So if you're 1.5, I'd take the under for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, that one's iffy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could see the over if he's the starter and if the game works out that way.
Right. And you know, if we were looking at the actual contest, there's like, 40 props or something? There's a ton of props.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't take that one.
Yep. Nope.
All right. Wayne Gallman over under 66.5 rushing yards. Yeah. I mean, I could see that too. I really
That's
could.
the easy under for me. I don't think there's any way that they are ahead for enough in the game for that to happen. And the Browns also like to run the football, which runs the clock. And, I don't know.
Yeah, game script is not going to work out well for them this week. Nick Chubb. Oh, this one's interesting. Over under 1.5 touchdowns. I think he gets 1 for sure. 2 is iffy.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that too.
Yep.
I think he probably gets 1. Hunt gets 1.
Yeah, I can see that. Kareem Hunt over under 43.5 rushing yards. Rushing. I'll go over.
I think I'd take the over on that too.
Baker Mayfield over under 220.5 passing yards. I don't know if he's going to need to pass that much. That feels right on the line, though,
Yeah. Coming off the game he had last week, they might want to open it up a little bit. Yeah, give me over the 220. I think it probably ends up around like 235, 240.
Yeah, I could see that too. The Giants' defense gives me pause, though, because they shut down Seattle. They made Kyler look human. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you got a good point.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the under on that one. We'll see. And last 2 total points, over or under 45.5 total between 2 teams. I think I'm going under. What do you guys think?
I think that's
under. Yeah, I'm going under because I think that the Giants could just lay a dud entirely, and I think if they don't, that it probably still ends up somewhere around that line. So I think odds are it ends up around that line, but you also had the bonus chance that the Giants just completely suck and it ends up way lower.
Right. It's either 33 or 38-3 Browns, or it's like 21-20 Browns.
See, and I don't even think it gets to 38-3 because the Browns, the way they run their offense, like they like to run the football. If they get ahead, they're just going to run it into the ground, run all the clock, whatever. So, like for me, it might end up in that 22-21 range, but it also could just be like the 22-3 range.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I think the under's safe though. Okay, last one. Browns will win by over 4.5, or Browns will not win by over 4.5. I think they win by over 4.5.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Beautiful. All righty.
Nice.
Other picks last week, we had Packers money line. It was interesting for a little bit. And didn't what's his face get hosed on a touchdown too?
Yeah, Marvin Jones. It wasn't a touchdown. It was like the 1 yard line. But yeah, that should have been a catch.
Gotcha. Not great. Alrighty. So this week I got Rams money line. I mean, whatever. I know it's like minus 2,000, but take out a second mortgage. There you go. They got the Jets, for Christ's sakes. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Well,
at home in Los Angeles. Not that matters nowadays, but whatever.
I mean, it wouldn't matter if COVID didn't exist. LA doesn't have fans, so.
But I think if that affects anyone, it would affect teams going coast to coast right now with jet lag.
Yeah, good point. Good. Oh, look at me.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm taking the Jets.
Put your butt on it.
No.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, with that, we're going to close out episode 134. Make sure you're following us on the Twitter at IDP Guys. I'm at Nate Cheat. John is at OrangeMan3142. And Sean is at Lanny1925. Subscribe to the show. Go to idpguys.org. In the sidebar on the left, there is links to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and an RSS feed for the podcatcher of your choice. While you're there, become a subscriber to the site. Essentially, $1 a month gets you access to premium data, premium tools, as well as the Slack chat, where you get access to us and the writers 24/7, 365, pretty much answering all the questions that come through. Check out our YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed. Writer Digest Network, REITER. That's where you'd be able to watch the show each week as we put it out. And finally, make sure you pre-order your NFL Draft 2021 magazines. Go to IDP Guys right now. We got a couple weeks before the website goes into maintenance for a couple months. So if you want to secure those magazines before that maintenance, make sure and do it as soon as possible. You got until week 17 is over, and then we'll have the maintenance page up on IDP Guys and Dynasty Football Digest as we remodel and switch everything over going into 2021. After that, you'll have to wait until February. But all right, with that,
Lamar Jackson took a shit.